For nearly 2 decades, our independent quick change diffs have dominated drift racing. Here's a detailed look at how they're built. Our permanent mold A356 T6 aluminum center sections are cast in the U.S.A. and machined in-house here at Winters. We'll drop a link to a video explaining why permanent mold castings are inherently stronger than sand castings. This diff features our black thermal dispersant coating. The yoke bearing has already been installed and the center's been warming on our bore heater for 30 minutes to bring it to 450 degrees. If you're rebuilding a diff in your shop, you can also heat it in an oven. At 450 degrees, the pinion assembly drops right in place. This assembly includes the bearings, bearing cup, posi nut, and washer. 3/8 16 pins help with alignment during installation. Next, the lower shaft is fitted with its bearing and spacer and slid into place. Our lower shafts are made from either heat-treated steel or 350M, which has greater yield, tensile, and shear strength than the 300M shafts available from other manufacturers, due in part to the increased cobalt and titanium content of the 350M alloy. While the center cools, we'll show you how the output flanges are built. Assembly begins by pressing the seal into the seal plate. Then we remove the bearing seals, oil the seal in the seal plate, and slide the plate and bearing over the flange before pressing them in place. Our 930 and 934 flanges start with 4340 steel forgings that are machined here at Winters. Both come in standard 35 spline, and 930s are also available in 31 spline for lower horsepower applications. After installing the snap ring, the flange is ready to roll. 2 more components only available from Winters are our heavy-duty spools and ground 9310 ring and pinions. The spools start as a 7075 aluminum forging that's machined and fitted with a splined steel insert secured by a pair of snap rings. That, coupled with the only available ground 9310 ring and pinion, makes for the strongest and most durable rotating assembly on the market. The ring gear is secured with ARP bolts and flat washers with a bead of red Loctite, roughly the thickness of the ring gear mounting flange. After snugging each bolt, they're torqued to 60 foot-pounds, tightening in a crisscross pattern and then going back to double check each one. Next, we install O-rings in the output flange seal plate grooves and apply a bead of petroleum jelly to prepare them for installation in the side bells. An important feature of our side bells is that they're made from near-net shape 2014 T6 aluminum forgings. Near-net shape means that the raw forging is as close to the shape of the finished part as possible, and that only the critical mounting surfaces need to be machined. When you machine an entire forging to create the shape of the part as other manufacturers do, you cut into the grain structure of the forging and expose the grain ends, which can lead to cracking and fatigue. We're the only ones who've taken the extra step to create near-net shape forgings, and in doing so we capitalize on the strength of the raw forging to create a stronger bell. To install the output flanges, we torch the bell for about 40 to 60 seconds using a propane torch with a rosebud tip. This can also be done with an oxyacetylene torch, but be careful not to overheat the bell since oxyacetylene burns much hotter than propane. Once the bell is warmed up, the flange drops in place. When the center section returns to room temperature, we remove the pinion alignment pins and install the bearing retainer. Each 1-inch long 3/8 16 grade 8 bolt gets a bead of red Loctite before being run in and torqued to 25 foot-pounds. Then we loosen the posi nut with a special 1 7/8 socket wrench and hit it with a dead blow hammer to make sure the nose bearing is seated properly. You'll know it's seated when there is a little bit of play in the pinion after you've hit it with the dead blow. Next, we use the same wrench to snug the posi nut while rotating the pinion. Then tighten it to 15 inch-pounds of rotating torque. Petroleum jelly is applied to the posi cap before it's slid over the pinion and snapped into place. Then we install the various plugs, including the drain plug, 2 vent plugs, and the fill plug at the quick change gear cavity. Next, we head over to an assembly bench and install a fixture for our assembly jig. By now the bells have cooled and the output flanges can be bolted in place. As we did with the ring gear bolts, the seal plate bolts are snugged and torqued in a crisscross pattern before going back to double check each one. The torque spec for these bolts is 17 foot-pounds. In the left bell, we install the breather tube clip and an adjuster screw, which controls the amount of deflection of the ring gear. For now, it's just screwed in a couple of threads, but it will be set once the diff is completely assembled. Next, we temporarily install a breather plug, which is a -6AN O-ring fitting located adjacent to the brake mounting boss. Last is the oil fill plug at the top of the left side bell. Then on the right bell, we install an oil level plug located just below the axle line. O-rings are installed on both bells. On the left bell, we apply petroleum jelly to the bore where the adjuster screw is threaded in before installing the thrust block from the inside out. The right bell is installed first, beginning with a 1 1/4 inch long 7/16 14 grade 8 bolt and flat washer installed at the 4 o'clock position and snugged in place. Then the 5 1/2 inch 7/16 20 Thru-Bolts and flat washers are installed. To begin the spool installation, we install a series of shims before the tapered roller bearings are slip fit in place. On the left side, we start by shimming to 70 thousandths using 3 shims measuring 45, 15, and 10 thousandths thickness. On the right, we begin at 74 thousandths using 4 shims, 140, 2 12s, and 1 10 thousandths shim. The spool is then slid into the center section over the right output flange before the left bell and flange assembly is installed. Once again, a 1 1/4 inch grade 8 bolt is installed first, but on this left bell it goes in the 8 o'clock position. Then we install a flat washer and lock nut on the Thru-Bolt at the 4 o'clock position and torque it to 35 foot-pounds. The gap between the bell and center section should be 12 to 15 thousandths. If it's outside of that spec, shims will need to be added or removed to the left side of the spool in increments of as close to 5 thousandths as possible. Once the gap is correct, we install the remaining flat washers and lock nuts and torque them to 35 foot-pounds. Next, we check pinion preload and backlash. We start by rotating the pinion 3 to 4 times to seat the bearings, then check that the preload measures 25 to 30 inch-pounds of rotating torque. Then we attach a gauge to check backlash, setting the needle on the flat root of the pinion spline. Rocking the pinion should yield no more than 4 to 6 thousandths of play. If it's greater than 6 thousandths, we need to remove shims from the right of the spool and add them to the left in small increments, as close to 5 thousandths as possible. If backlash is less than 4 thousandths, we remove shims from the left and add them to the right in the same increments. Next, we apply red Loctite in the gear cover stud bores before running in the 3/8 studs. Then we install the gear cover O-ring, slide the gear cover on, and secure it with anodized aluminum high nuts. Now that the assembly is almost complete, we can set the adjuster screw. Red Loctite is applied to the threads, then the screw is run in until the thrust block touches the ring gear. Then it's backed off a 1/4 of a turn and locked down. Next, we remove the 2 short grade 8 bolts from each bell and apply a bead of silicone to the threads, which will seal the bores once they're reinstalled and tightened. The last components are the front seal plate and yoke. After installing the O-ring on the seal plate, it's placed on the center and fastened with 1 1/4 inch long 3/8 16 bolts torqued to 25 foot-pounds. Then we lubricate the seal, install the yoke spacer and 1350 series yoke, and tap it with a dead blow hammer to make sure it's seated. A bead of silicone is applied to the flat washer before it and the yoke bolt are installed and tightened to 45 foot-pounds. Once assembly is complete, we pressure check each rear, filling the cavity with 20 psi of air pressure for 10 minutes. After confirming it's leak-free, we remove the breather plug and install a -6AN breather fitting, which now comes with a larger 1/4 inch OD breather tube. Last comes the winner's serial plate, which allows us to track how each diff is equipped when it leaves the shop. These diffs are the strongest on the market and are used in some of the most powerful, torque-heavy drift cars on the professional circuit. With the exception of a select few parts, like NTN and Timken bearings, every winner's component and complete diff is machined, built, and assembled in our plant in York, Pennsylvania. If you have any questions about how to maintain your diff, you can give us a call or send an email or DM anytime. And our doors are always open to visitors. If you find yourself in central Pennsylvania and want to see where the finest quick change diffs are built, stop in to see us.